Yo, what's up guys, AFC Adino here and welcome to a new video. As you guys can see on screen, I have a screenshot of a video, or one of Petrowski's videos. Most of you probably know Petrowski. He's probably the biggest YouTuber on PokeMMO. And recently he uploaded a video in which he was playing PvP on OU, and he used the team he made in this video. And that same team he also used in one of my tournaments, actually my birthday tournament. It was a really big tournament he participated in. And yeah, I thought it might be fun trying out his team. Because yeah, it has been a while since I've played Hyper Offense, and his team looked really offensive. So yeah, I definitely wanted to try it out. The last time I played Hyper Offense was with the Staraptor and Breloom team, I believe. And a lot of you guys usually enjoy when I play Hyper Offense, which is also fun to play. But yeah, I'm gonna try out his team. Let's just take a quick look at his team first. So we're gonna watch a bit of this video. But yeah, he also played it. This is the video in which he used it in my tournament. I will also link that in the description. But yeah, in this video he's going to explain his team. So let's just check it out. Stupid ads. About 4 minutes. So
alright, yo, what's up? My name is Petrowski, and welcome to the finale of Road to PokeMMO Season 2. I have played through the Kanto region, I have reached 1 million Pokeyen, I have played through the Unova region, and I have built an entire competitive team from scratch. Today will be the day that I put that team to use. If you haven't seen the team before, I will try to cover it really quickly. First things first, let's cover our most likely lead target. We have a Cloyster with 5x30 IVs, which is beautiful, 252 attack, EVs, 252 speed, Shell Smash, Pid Missile, Icicle Spear, Rock Blast for coverage, Shell Smash for setup, Skilling ability will make all of these moves hit 5 times, and then Focus Sash to make sure we live at least 1 turn to set up that Shell Smash, making an absolute threat from the get-go. This is a Pokemon that can really sweep through a team in 1 turn if given the opportunity. Another Pokemon that is capable of sweeping teams after 1 setup turn is Volcarona. Quiver Dance Volcarona with Bug Buzz, Fiery Dance, and Giga Drain for that sustain and regen is so absolutely huge. Having Flame Body is also super relevant, Burn being probably the best status in PvP right now. Cutting physical attackers' attack stat in half is absolutely huge. Quiver Dance boosting the special attack, special defense, and speed stat by 1 stage is an insane setup move on an insanely statted Pokemon. 1 Quiver Dance will boost Volcarona's already 135 special attack, 105 special defense, and 100 speed to dangerous levels. I did end up going Life Orb to pack a little bit extra punch on that damage, and it'll also feed into our Giga Drain, which will help us sustain more HP while taking the damage from Life Orb. Now this Pokemon, much less of a sweeper, but honestly with this set, it's very capable of it. Conkeldurr is very capable of punching holes through teams, literally and physically. Very, very bulky Pokemon. Let's check its base stats. Rocking a 105 base HP, a monstrous 140 base attack, super good bulk at 95 base defense and 65 base special defense, with the only really flaw being its middling speed, which we make up for in large part due to Mach Punch, a priority stab fighting type move. Now we're also packing Bulk Up to set up with this thing, as well as Stone Edge for coverage, as well as Drain Punch for another stab move, plus insane sustain. Our ability is Guts, the other one is Sheer Force. Guts is much, much better with Flame Orb. A huge thing that people don't think about with Flame Orb and Guts is that when you're burned, you're ignoring the damage reduction, but your opponent also can't status you. That is one of the hidden benefits of using Guts Flame Orb. Not being able to be paralyzed or not being able to be put to sleep by a Spore is really, really, really relevant. Our next superstar is another physical attacker, much like our Conkeldurr, but this one isn't bulky by any means. He is all firepower, excuse the pun. 140 base attack Darmanitan with brutal speeds at 95 base speed, plus a Choice Scarf. He should be able to outspeed everything in the meta, with that Choice Scarf being disgustingly scary. There's not much counterplay to Darmanitan besides switching in a tanky Pokemon and just hoping I clicked the wrong move and hoping that you could tank the attack. Now onto the more defensive and utility side, we have Rotom-Wash. So Rotom-Wash is a pretty much standard pivot Pokemon in OU. It can be switched in, tank a lot of attacks, dodge attacks with Levitate, throw up a Hydro Pump, throw up a Will-O-Wisp or a Pain Split if it needs to, but the most common move you're going to see me using is Volt Switch. Being able to just get in, tank an attack, Volt Switch out with Rotom-Wash is really, really nice. Having those slow Volt Switches on a bulky Pokemon is actually really relevant. Him being in the 86 speed tier means that I'm going to be faster than certain Pokemon that I want to be and Volt Switch out, and I'm going to be slower than certain Pokemon that I want to be free and tank an attack and Volt Switch out for free. Rotom-Wash is truly a special one-of-a-kind Pokemon. Now on to my hopeful Scizor killer. I'm really hoping this guy is going to be able to do enough. Magnezone with Magnet Pull ability to lock in Steel types. As long as the opponent doesn't click Superpower against me on their Scizor, I will be able to Hidden Power Fire them and blow them up into Oblivion. And with Choice Scarf and with a mild nature and with 252 special attack EVs and everything of the sort, and I believe the 130 or so, 130 base special attack, even if my opponent has no Scizor on their team, with the Choice Scarf and the special attack damage, Magnezone is going to be such a scary special attacking threat that they will have to be aware of and try to play around. But that's it for the introduction of the team. It's finally time to...
Okay, guys. That is going to be his team. Really interesting team. Like I said, guys, you can check out the video on how he plays the team. And really cool to listen to his thought process as well. Maybe getting other views on battling instead of mine. It's always good to hear other people's views as well. And I would recommend also watching his entrance on my tournament, my birthday tournament. It was really cool that he participated in it as well. I will link it all down below, and to his most recent OU battle as well. I think he had a really close game at the end. And yeah, this is going to be his team because I made a poker paste out of that video, and this is the sets he was running. Obviously, I'm not gonna run it the same way. I'm going to give it my own spin. I'm going to give it an Adino touch. So we're gonna change a few sets. And I am going to change one Pokemon, but the goal is to keep the identity of the team. Like he said in the beginning, is most likely trying to sweep with Cloyster, trying to sweep with Volcarona, trying to outspeed things and do a lot of damage with Darmanitan. And he's trying to pivot with his Rotom. However, I'm going to change a few sets on this. So we're going to keep the identity while changing things to my liking. And yeah, I'm going to turn this team into a complete hyper-offensive team. It's been a while since we've played hyper-offense. I think the last time was when I was using the Staraptor Breloom when they got released. I know a lot of you guys enjoy watching me play hyper-offense. Because it's just a lot of damage and a lot of sweeping and such. But yeah, it's not my favorite playstyle. It is a fun playstyle, but it's not the playstyle I prefer. I'm usually more calm and collected when deciding my plays. But yeah, we're going to turn this team into an hyper-offensive team. So I'm going to open up PokeMMO again. There we go. Going to the usual screen, and the first Pokemon he was using was Cloyster. I'm going to switch back and forth, but his Cloyster had a docile nature. I know he was doing it on a budget, and he was trying to get the team as quickly as possible. I'm not going to pay too much attention when the nature is a bit off, because obviously he knows that docile is not the optimal nature on this Pokemon. I also didn't look at his IVs, but yeah, max attack, max speed is what he went for with EVs, and the moveset with Pin Missile, Icicle Spear, and Rock Blast. So I'm going to show you my Cloyster. I obviously got the team prepared right now. Making sure it is on the screen. There we go. So first up, we have Cloyster. Cloyster. I went with a Jolly Nature. A lot of people ran Adamant or Naughty. The reason I went with a Jolly Nature, if you look at Petrowski's team, fast Choice Scarfers might be a problem. If we face a Mienshao on a Choice Scarf, it might be trouble, because Mienshao with a Choice Scarf could outspeed Cloyster, Adamant Cloyster after Shell Smash. Same goes for a Choice Scarf Gengar. And those Pokemon will outspeed. Garchomp will probably be slower than Cloyster after Shell Smash, but I'm not sure. I didn't calc it yet there. I believe Jolly is actually faster, but I might be wrong. But those Pokemon are also faster than Volcarona after a Quiver Dance, and they are faster than Darmanitan with a Choice Scarf. But if Cloyster uses a Shell Smash, he's gonna outspeed a Choice Scarf Gengar. And anything that's faster than Gengar usually doesn't carry a Choice Scarf. But I feel like that's going to be important to be able to outspeed those Pokemon. That's why I went with a Jolly Nature on our Cloyster. I went with a Focus Sash as well. Yeah, King's Rock is King's Rock got nerfed, so I'm not gonna use King's Rock. And I want to be able on this kind of hyper offense team to get a guaranteed shell smash off with the Cloyster. And yeah, I'm going with max attack, max speed like him. And we are running Shell Smash, Rock Blast, Icicle Spear, but I'm running Ice Shard. I saw Petrowski running the Pin Missile, but there honestly isn't anything I really want to hit with Pin Missile. Maybe something like Reuniclus. Maybe want to hit Reuniclus, but Icicle Spear is still gonna do a lot of damage to Reuniclus. And the reason I'm running Ice Shard is because Cloyster is still going. When we face a rain team, Cloyster is still going to be slower than the Kingdra, even after a Shell Smash, because he gets the Swift Swim. So it doesn't make sense using Shell Smash against the Kingdra. So I'd rather just Icicle Spear, get as much damage off as possible, and then get an extra Ice Shard off, and hopefully my Conkeldurr, for example, can knock it out with the Mach Punch. But that's going to be my Cloyster step. The next Pokemon he was using was Volcarona. So Volcarona is mine is going to be really similar to his Volcarona. Gonna be a timid nature as well, max speed, max special attack, and we're going with the same exact moveset. But the only difference is I went with a Lumberry. I like Life Orb as well. Later on, I think he swapped it to Grass Jam, which is a cool tech as well. But the reason I went with Lumberry is because if you look at his team, we don't have anything to absorb a Spore from either an Amoonguss or a Breloom. So just having that Lumberry might catch my opponent off guard, and it gives me a free attack on them. And the Lumberry is necessarily for Breloom as well, because looking at our team, we don't really switch him well to Breloom, in the sense that if we face a Breloom lead, either something gets spored or something gets killed on our team, because they are usually Focus Sash. But I'm going to explain to you my strategy when I face a Breloom and how I'm going to deal with it using this team. But the Lumberry is going to be important there. Yeah, for the other things, it's just the same. It's going to be the same Volcarona. The next Pokemon he was using was Conkeldurr. I think he was using an Adamant Nature as well. You guys can see the Flame Orb, so it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit on this kind of screen, but I didn't want to show the full screen because I didn't want to spoil all the Pokemon I was using. So, but yeah, it's gonna be Conkeldurr with a Flame Orb. I think his nature was Sassy. Not sure if he was meant to go for Sassy, because some bulk up Conkeldurrs are especially defensive, but he was running max attack, max HP. Not sure if that was intentional, but it's not strange for Conkeldurr to have a special defensive nature when using a bulk up set. However, we are going to play hyper offense. I don't want to waste time on setting up bulk ups, because Conkeldurr has an amazing attack stat like Petrowski said, and I just want to do damage as fast as possible. So that's why I went with Adamant Nature and running max speed, max attack. I want to be able to outspeed as many walls as possible. And for the moves that we are going with close combat, I don't care about Drain. I'm not gonna use Drain Punch. I don't care about getting recovery back on Conkeldurr. All I care about is getting as much damage off Conkeldurr as possible, breaking certain walls, allowing my Cloyster and my Volcarona to sweep in the game, and close combat does that really well. First, I was thinking about using a Life Orb instead of a Life Orb Sheer Force Conkeldurr. That way I don't have to wait for the Guts to activate. But even without the Guts, close combat is still doing a lot of damage. So in any case, if I get it in on a good matchup using my Rotom, which I'm going to explain later on, and I click close combat on something that is forced to switch out, I will activate my Flame Orb anyway, and then I can switch to my other moves. Because Facade is a really good neutral move. The only types that resist Facade are Steel and Rock types, which get destroyed by close combat. And then we have Ice Punch to hit something like a Gliscor or Garchomp, for example, or Amoonguss when he's after, because if Amoonguss switches into close combat, he's gonna die to the Ice Punch on the next turn, which is quite funny. The only downside with this Conkeldurr set is obviously that he doesn't hit ghost types really well. So that's, if we face a bulky ghost type, we have to rely on our other teammates. Yeah, that's basically the explanation on Conkeldurr. Like I said, I'm not gonna waste time bulking up with this. I want to do as much damage as possible, as fast as possible. I actually didn't show my Conkeldurr. My bad, guys. That's the moveset: Close Combat, Mach Punch, Facade, Ice Punch, and Max Speed, Max Attack, Adamant Nature. The next Pokemon is going to be, let's see, the Darmanitan. So let's see. Darmanitan is going to be in our team as well. Like I said, I wanted to keep the identity. He was using an Adamant Nature, running Max Speed, Max Attack as well. However, the only difference is I have another moveset. He's using Superpower and Stone Edge. I am using, instead of Superpower and Stone Edge, I'm using Trick and Rock Slide. Rock Slide, because Rock Slide gets boosted by my Sheer Force. It has a higher accuracy, and in a lot of cases, I only click it against things against things I needed to kill with things like Gyarados, which I will kill anyway, or will do a lot of damage anyway. Fire types like Chandelure, that's only against specific Pokemon, and in most cases I will click Flare Blitz or U-turn anyway. I don't feel like I need Superpower when I use such a strong Conkeldurr, and Trick can help me a lot in crippling down a wall. If I trick something like a Hippowdon, like a Ferrothorn, like a Jellicent, then it's much easier for Cloyster and Volcarona to sweep so that they cannot stop us. That's why I use Trick, so I can use Darmanitan also in a supportive role. And yeah, that's gonna be the Darmanitan. It's basically the same reasoning. With the Choice Scarf, it's gonna outspeed all the fast Pokemon that would otherwise be a threat to us, as long as they're not running a Choice Scarf. And in a lot of cases, we can use him as a lead as well if we feel like our opponent is super weak to it, because not a lot of teams run a Fire type resists on their team. Some like if a lot of teams will run Rotom, but if they don't have a Rotom, then Darmanitan can be really scary. Some Garchomp can be annoying, of course, but we U-turn out against it. But yeah, it's gonna be our Darmanitan set. It's gonna be our fast Pokemon, and it's still a heavy hitter with Adamant Flare Blitz. It's crazy. The next Pokemon Petrowski was using is the Rotom-Wash. And the Rotom-Wash is running Hydro Pump, Volt Switch, Pain Split, Will-O-Wisp with a bold nature. Like I said, I want to make this hyper offense, so that's what we're going to do here. This is going to be my Rotom. I use it with a Timid nature, and I have the Light Clay. And when you see the Light Clay, you will know you will know that it's going to have Light Screen and Reflect. I'm running Max Special Attack, Max Speed, and Light Screen and Reflect, because look at this team, guys. Look at this team. What are we going to do versus Rain, Sun? What are we going to do versus Rain and Sun? Once that Venusaur gets in, once that Kingdra gets in, how are we going to defend against this? We don't ride. That's why I'm gonna run the screens. If I face those teams, I can use Light Screen, for example, so that I don't get destroyed by Kingdra. I can use Reflect so that I don't get destroyed by Kabutops, for example. I do have the Mach Punch in the back though. But yeah, Light Screen is going to be most important, and Reflect, might as well run Reflect next to it, making it easy to switch into stuff like Conkeldurr and other physical attackers like me and Chao, maybe later on. And then I'm just gonna use it to movesets Volt Switch, because we can pivot with this Pokemon. We can still switch this in, use Volt Switch to get in one of our threats, and I'm gonna use Hydro Pump. And the reason I ran Max Speed, Max Special Attack as well is because, first of all, I want it to be faster than a Breloom. Remember, Breloom. If Breloom leads up versus our team. Oh, I didn't show my team. But max speed, max special attack, light screen, reflect, pulse, which hydro pump. But the reason we run max speed is so that we're faster than Breloom. And our reason for this is, like I said, this team doesn't like leading up. Doesn't like facing off a Breloom lead. So how we can play it against a Breloom is leading up with our Rotom. And since we're faster, Breloom is most likely not going to click Rock Tomb. He's either going to try to be safe to click Spore to get a free turn, or he's clicking Bullet Seed. But if we are faster than Breloom, we Volt Switch and get in Volcarona to break a potential Focus Sash. If they click Spore, our Lumberry will activate and we get a free attack, and Breloom will be behind a Focus Sash. If they click Bullet Seed, we 4 times resist this attack and then get a free attack off anyway. That's the reasoning behind this. And yeah, I'm running max special attack because of the next Pokemon. Because the last Pokemon Petrowski was using was Magnezone. And I decided to swap out Magnezone for another Pokemon. The reason is, when playing Hyper Offense, I always want Stealth Rock. I want Stealth Rock for the reasoning is because it breaks Focus Sashes. It helps me getting certain 2-hit KOs if opponents try to switch. And it breaks Sturdy as well on certain Pokemon like Skarmory, so Skarmory cannot stop Volcarona with Brave Bird, for example. It's just important, and it breaks Multi-Skill from Dragonite as well. It just helps me secure kills. That's why I feel like it's needed. And since I'm using a Rotom as well, I don't really feel like I need Magnezone that much. Petrowski's reasoning was to trap the Scizor, which is fair. But we're running a max speed, max special attack Rotom. Hydro Pump is still gonna do a lot of damage to Scizor. Volt Switch is still gonna do a lot of damage to Scizor. And we have 2 freaking fire types on our team. So I don't really feel like I need to trap Scizor necessarily. I'd rather have Stealth Rock than have an option to secure a kill on Scizor. And the Pokemon I went with instead of the Magnezone is going to be our Excadrill. I went with a Jolly Nature. I'm running a Focus Sash, and the reason I went with Excadrill, it's because it's still a Steel typing, so I am kind of keeping the identity of the team. But now I have Stealth Rock and I have Rapid Spin. Because we are running 3 Pokemon that are weak to Stealth Rock. We don't necessarily have to remove the Stealth Rocks. It's not mandatory to run Hazard Removal on Hyper Offense. But yeah, if you have the option, then you might as well use it. So that's why I'm using Excadrill, using Earthquake, and I'm using Protect as my last move. Might be strange. Some people like to run Rock Slide. Some people like to run Iron Head or Rock Slide. Iron Head or Toxic. But the reason I'm running Protect is because in a lot of games I would probably lead up with Excadrill to try to get up the rocks. But if I face a Mienshao, if Mienshao has Fake Out, he clicks Fake Out, and I have no counterplay on any of my Pokemon on Fake Out. Mienshao leads off, click Fake Out, and then he's gonna destroy one Pokemon. So I kind of want to avoid that by using Excadrill, click Protect on the Fake Out, and then if he then clicks Close Combat, my Focus Sash will activate and I still get up my Stealth Rock. That's the reason. I was thinking about using an Air Balloon, which makes it much easier against Garchomp. But you'll encounter a lot of Mienshao leads, and if they run Fake Out, it just becomes really troublesome. And against the Garchomp lead, you still have your Focus Sash, but you kind of have to outplay. Are you going to Rapid Spin on your first turn? Or are you going to Rapid Spin on your second turn? Or are you clicking Stealth Rock on their first turn, expecting them to click Earthquake? That's a bit of a mind game, but at least you get guaranteed rocks up versus Garchomp anyway. And yeah, this is going to conclude the team. This Excadrill doesn't hit flying types, of course, but due to Mold Breaker, we hit Rotom, and the main job of Excadrill is getting up Stealth Rock. And then we're just gonna click buttons with our Darmanitan and Conkeldurr. One thing that's kind of scary for us is facing a Jellicent. Facing a Jellicent or a Milotic perhaps, a bulky water type. The reason is Jellicent is going to completely wall our Conkeldurr. It's going to completely wall our Darmanitan. So we have to rely on Rotom. Cloyster can knock it out after Shell Smash, but we need some pre-damage. And Volcarona with Giga Drain is something we have to rely on. And that's something I'm kind of worried about. Definitely a bunch of more things. But yeah, like I said, this is not my team. This is Petrowski's team, and I'm giving it my own spin. I'm going to play some games with it soon in future videos, but this is going to be the team building video on this team, or or team building support. Because guys, I want to show you something. I offer team building support on Patreon. I don't advertise it much, the team building support. But I do offer team building support next to showing my Poke Paste and next to my PvP courses. If you struggle with team building and want me to help you, then check out my Patreon. And I do these kind of things for you. Like I said, with this team, it's still Petrowski's team. I still kept the identity of the team. However, I tried to improve it. I tried to optimize the team. For certain Pokemon to shine, and like I feel like I've done a pretty good job on this, and we'll get to see it. I'm gonna play it on my on this account as well. So I'm gonna play it probably today. This account is in the top 100 still, so we can play it and see how it does on a high level. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Check out Petrowski if you haven't already. You've probably seen already some videos of him. Really good YouTuber. Really cool guy. Really chill guy as well. And who knows? Maybe we will make a video together sometimes. Maybe we collab in the future. If the schedule allows it, of course. If the schedule allows it, you have to think about time zones and stuff. And obviously we are both busy people, but would be cool. And yeah, check out my Discord server, check out Patreon. Like I said, I offer a lot of services on Patreon. It's all linked in the description, and if you want to chat about this game, then you can join our Discord server. But yeah, with that all being said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace out.